Hello, welcome to another Pedal Out video. So today we're going to be taking a closer look at the 2002 Nissen Elgrand. At the time of launching the Mark II E51 Elgrand, Nissan heralded it as the finest minivan that could provide dream, relaxation and inspiration. The interior was designed to help you relax as if you were in a living room. In all seriousness, what we have here isn't a totally original Elgrand. It's a base model that's been converted to a campervan. So is it any good? And should you buy one over, say, a Mazda Bongo, TL2 Alphard, or even a VW T4 or T5? Well, if you prefer petrol engines to diesel engines, as I do, and you have a hankering for some JDM, that's Japanese domestic market product, and you like a beefy front end grille, then the answer has to be yes. Most Mark II Elgrands came with Nissan's 240 brake horsepower 3.5 litre V6 engine mated to a 5-speed auto. It's the same one they used in the 350Z. In 2002, America's Ward's Auto World magazine featured it in the top 10 of best engines, and again in 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, and I think it came back again in 2016. So it's safe to say it's a pretty good engine. It's important to say that the Elgrand was only ever sold in Japan, so that makes it a grey import over here, but come on, if you're watching this video you kind of knew that already, right? Most Elgrands imported were 4-wheel drive, but some of them, like this one, were rear-wheel drive. So that makes it even more like a 350Z. Right, there are lots of different models and trim levels in the Elgrand, so I'll refer to my crib sheet here and run through them with you quickly. They start with the V, which is the lowest base spec model. There you get cloth seats. They're usually beige in colour or cream. Most of Elgrands I've seen are often beige and cream in colour. Then you go up to the VG. Quite sure what that is. Then you've got the Highway Star. That's kind of your middle ground trim level. It's generally got half leather. It will come with a parking camera. You'll get an additional screen out here. This one doesn't have one. Then you've got the Rider S. Then you've got the Rider. This is going up in the terms of levels. The Rider's got a bit more. It's a bit more blingy, dare I say. You've got a bit of extra chrome on the grille at the front. Generally, they came with bigger alloys and a body kit, often electric curtains, and usually full leather seats throughout. Then you go up to the X, and then you've got the XL. Now the XL is the most expensive, got pretty much everything completely fully loaded, all that keyless entry, curtains, leather, etc. So it's generally the highest specification of the lot, but it's slightly less blingy than the Rider. Most Elgrands came with kind of the early version of Nissan's car wing screens, kind of emanating from out here. Apart from, dare I say, the base models, this one actually doesn't have one. It doesn't bother me at all because most of them are written in Japanese, makes it really hard to understand anyway. And I actually think the dash looks a little bit cleaner without it. Let's just have a little tour of the Elgrand dash. This is a V model, so you've got dashboard brightness here, your reset for your trip. You've got kind of an A and B trip. There's wipers on the left side, indicators on your right side. What that means is you can actually just drive with auto here. Effectively with one hand you can just kind of turn the wheel like this, so easy. and just do the indicators with this hand. So it's really, really nice car to drive. There's no fold out flappy screen here. It doesn't bother me necessarily because I can put a phone mount here, have my phone on here. With Nissen Elgrands like that, without that screen, what you get here is the space for a double DIN unit. This is what would have been the cigarette lighter. What I've actually done is put a USB front end in there, connected to the stereo. So as soon as you plug your phone in to this lead here, it will come through and play all your music on the stereo. There is also up here a small microphone for audio. So also in the center console, if you Nissen Elgrand looks like this, you've got cup holders. It's very clean, you've been camping, more cubby space, and then here is another sort of folding down compartment. But these vents here, to stop them, you rotate them, and it's like they're not there. Very cool. These are your little squidgy buttons for the rear electric kind of fold out windows on the very back windows. I really, really like even this base spec model because it's so well looked after, being a Japanese import. You get lovely, lovely cream fabric seats. They hold up so well. There's hardly any wear in these at all. They're really easy to keep clean and wipe down, and they keep this whole interior bright and fresh, which is great. So what do you get on this Nissen Elgrand camper in particular? Well, you get a pop-top roof here. You can see the panelled boards here which pop out when the roof is up, and then they lie down again to make a bed. You also get, you can spot here, LED lighting which run off the Leisure battery, which has a little switch here. This is all part of the conversion. If I turn it off, that will go off, and it runs off the Leisure battery, which is in the back. What you would have had normally here is a third row of seats. The Elgrand was essentially designed as a luxury people carrier, used to ferrying celebrities and the like around. Okay, to configure your campervan, first thing first, what you want to do is rotate these front seats so they're facing that way. It's a bit tricky, so I may speed this switches up. The benefit of this type of conversion is that middle row of seats is still usable. Okay, you can see now this middle row of seat is rotated. The way you do that is using this handy little rotate button there. Cup holders, or you can obviously have it as an extra seat. Pull this up. So you've got an extra compartment, and you've got more lap belts in here if you want someone sat in the middle. Okay, so looking inside campervan, now you've got these two middle seats rotated, these two little bench seats, which are kind of 1.5 really. You can fit an adult and a small child on here. The table can slide to the left and the right. There's a little clip underneath that stops it from tipping up, which is great. So in here we've got some bits and bobs for going camping. Lots of things like this for cups and things you can store stuff in. Okay, so I think all Elgrands, no matter which one you've got, have electric tailgate, and that is to say they're not electric up and down, but the switch is electric, so when you close it you can hear it lock. Okay, let's pop that up. What you get with the rear conversions is the benefit of being able to cook under shelter if you wanted to. What you've got on this particular conversion, you've got a gas stove here, a tap here, and then the water thing is in here, and you can see we've got like a little water tank in there, etc. Another cupboard in here is accessible through there, and in there you've got a little gas bottle to power your gas stove there. It comes with a 12 volt Moby Cool kind of cool box, so it actually kind of pops out, so you can take it down to the beach with you. It plugs in here with a 12 volt kind of cigarette lighter connector that connects to the Leisure battery, which is stored down there somewhere, but keeps everything nice and cool in there. Got another storage cupboard in here. Put your bowls, your crockery, your plates, bits and pieces like that, which is good. And then down here there's one more storage cupboard. We keep our sort of fold-up chairs, picnic rugs and things that you always kind of want to have in there. There's a spare gas stove in there, mallet for pegs for an awning, which we also have as well. Okay, let's have a look at access on the other side of this from that table area. Back inside the van, it's a bit of a dark day out there, but we've got these LED lights on in here, so it is nice and bright. We're in the sort of little table area on the inside, so this is the other side of the rear conversion. I mentioned this just now, you can still get access to the other side of the cupboards there. Ours are full of little bits and bobs. Again, that's the one with the gas stove cupboard in there. You've got a little couple of USBs, and you can see that it says 12.5 volts. This is the sort of digital display for the leisure battery. So this charge up on a split charge basis when the van is running, charges the leisure battery and the sort of main battery in the car. So what that means is your leisure battery, the LED lights, the fridge, these USB ports and the cigarette lighter all run off that leisure battery, so you don't have to worry about your van potentially not starting. You've also got LED light built into the pop-up roof, so this conversion was done quite well. So let's have a look at the pop-up roof and we'll show you how that works. So to raise your roof, you've got these straps here. Normally they're tucked up out the way, they sort of retain the roof here. If you loosen those off, there's like a ratchet there, pull it as loose and all the way out as you can. It's just a matter of gently pushing that roof up. Show you this as best we can. Those are those panels we mentioned. Let's have a look up here. So this is your tent area. Up here, there's a little switch here. Grab rails here. This is for pulling the roof down. And then you've got your 1.5 people, 2 small children, sleeping area up here. There's a window with a fly screen here. Popped all these boards out here, then it would free up kind of all that additional headspace. You can actually stand up in here a little bit more easily. When bringing the roof down, what I like to do is grab both handles to stop the kind of roof flexing in any way, shape or form. And also, as it comes down, the tent part here, it's important to kind of pull that in, pull it away from the hinges and the brackets and what have you at the back, so then it won't get snagged, it won't get caught, and it won't kind of get oily on it. You can see what I mean about the tent bit here. Let's get that tucked in as much as you can right at the back and at the front. As we come down towards the end, I slide this board. This is the sort of last board that we have here. Slide that snug into place like that. Pull the rest of the straps down evenly. You can sort of feel it clunk into place. So it's really important to get these ratchet straps nice and tight, and then pop these straps up here out the way. Okay, so we have the van set up with the double bed downstairs. So what you may notice is this isn't kind of a flip-flop foldy bed that you get in a lot of camper vans. With this rear conversion, your table goes down there, you get the cushions along there, they rotate, then they lie flat, and this centerpiece also lies flat. What you may have noticed, however, is if you look here, there is a dip, and there's a big bulge here. What you really need is something to kind of level this off. So what we have is a very thin self-inflating mattress, so we kind of double fold back on itself here to kind of fill this gap, and that seems to work quite well. What we then have, although they're expensive, is another big 10cm or so Vango Shangri-La self-inflating mattress, which fills this whole space. With that in situ, then you pretty much have a pretty level bed, and it kind of fills the whole space. You've kind of got to make sure the kids are upstairs in bed asleep first. If your Elgrand doesn't come with curtains, what you can do is you can buy some of these. They're sort of insulate material on the back, foam padding on the other side, and they've got these kind of suckers there that suck onto the glass. And people make these, so you can buy them on eBay, I think for about just over 100 quid. It does do a good job of kind of keeping the cold out, the heat in, and keeping it dark and safe and secure. So to do a basic rear end camper conversion on one of these, getting it all fitted in, just the camper bit with the cupboards, without the pop top roof, leisure battery, you're probably going to be looking at, this is for the UK, about £2,500. If you want a pop top roof with one of those tents fitted, so you can get 2 more people up there to sleep, the cost of that is anywhere between £2,500 to £3,000. The Nissen Elgrand, it's important to state, one of its benefits, it does have sliding doors on both sides, so that's great from a convenience perspective. Unlike a lot of vehicles of similar ilk, like the T4, T5s, Mazda Bongos, which only have a sliding door on one side. However, if you are thinking of doing the pop-top roof on these, obviously they didn't come from the factory with a pop-top roof, so you are going to expect a little bit of rattle, I suppose, and a little bit of loss of structural rigidity, let's say. Okay, so a few things to look out for in the Nissen Elgrand. There are 4 catalytic converters. There's a V6, so you've got 2 exhausts coming off the engine, and each exhaust kind of has 2 catalytic converters. Now, the ones at the very back aren't really required for the Elgrand to pass a British UK MOT test. However, they were required in the Japanese market. That means essentially you can get rid of them, but why might you want to do that? Well, there are reports and people have said it's kind of a ticking time bomb almost, as if there's anything that happens to the engine or the first set of cats, then that debris from that first set of cats can't kind of escape past those rear cats. I think I've got that right. If I haven't, mentioned it in the comments below. Anyway, there's a couple of solutions to that. One is to just straight pipe through those rear cats, which sounds great and should make a difference to performance and also noise. Or you can get them what's called decord, which is essentially you take the catalytic converter, the honeycomb, out and kind of replace it with just kind of a dummy shell of what looks like a catalytic converter. Thanks for watching this pedal art video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments anything that you liked about this video. If you've got an Elgrand yourself, if you're looking to buy one, which one you've got, etc. It'd be great to know, and also feel free to share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.